Welcome back to Doom Eternal. We've made it to heaven. Or
Heaven.
the closest thing to it in this universe anyway.
It's what inspired the stories of heaven in
In universe,
Earth's religions.
It's always a bit interesting when stories delve into this idea that, yeah, there was some truth behind the big religion that everyone knows about, but that truth was more of a cosmic horror kind of thing than what it actually portrays itself as.
I mean, it also goes back to the whole, technology sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing launching across platforms now. I'm getting flashbacks to Halo 4, which wasn't a bad game, but...
Oh man, that's the next game that's coming out on PC.
When did Halo 4 come out again?
I believe 2010,
Okay.
if I'm remembering correctly.
Because that was the first time I remember a Halo game coming out and just the hype,
No one cared.
the hype not being there. Because I remember even the spin-offs,
ODST.
Yeah,
ODST, yeah.
and especially Halo Reach. People were really excited about those. And I just don't remember any of the excitement for Halo.
I
for-
remember-
Well, because 3 ended the story and everyone was just kind of done at that point.
Yeah, but then 4 tried to continue it on from where 3 left off. It was okay. It's certainly better than 5. But like, I think part of the reason 4 didn't get quite as much excitement is because ODST and Reach had already happened, and I'm not sure about ODST. I actually haven't heard anything specific about it.
It just came out on Steam, actually.
I haven't heard
interested.
anything specific about how good it is in relation to the others. I have played Halo Reach, though. It existed. It certainly did. It kind of felt a little too chaotic in its single-player campaign for me, though. So, take that for
I
what
thought
it's worth.
ODST was fine. I just played it for the first time, like, less than a week ago. I liked it more than Halo 3, the base game, but that's not really saying much because I thought Halo 3 was kind of okay.
Isn't the best one 2?
I think the best one is 2. I hear, either 1 and 3 are the best or 2 is the best. There's really
Generally,
not too
I
much
believe.
middle ground.
Generally, I believe 2 is considered the best as a complete package sort of thing,
Okay.
both campaign and multiplayer.
I get the feeling that, like, it came about at a time when, you know, shooters having multiplayer was really cool and still kind of novel and not such a big focus of the entire industry that the single player campaign suffered in development.
especially on consoles, because online deathmatch had been a thing in PC shooters since Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Quake, really.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
PC
more.
games
well,
were PC games
Duke Nukem
were
had it too before Quake came out.
PC
if I
games
remember.
were working with multiplayer online stuff way before consoles made it mainstream. You'd have stuff like, okay, this is a really weird inclusion because it doesn't really fit the story at all, but in Baldur's Gate, you can just get together with a party of other players and play through the game in co-op. With
Anyone remember the
Tiny sword.
the Satellaview for the Super Nintendo in Japan? Hey, remember that thing we
Oh.
got in the second level?
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
That's what I thought you were
do
talking about at first.
anything? Why didn't you try to stop him instead of just standing there like a dumbass?
Because they
Are
know
you
if they
gonna try to
they'll
stop
get
Doom
glory-
Guy?
I was gonna say if they
All right.
know that they're gonna get.
they've spent the whole game trying to stop Doom Guy, so I feel like they'd put
So-
a better effort into it than no, don't, please.
If you're not familiar,
Okay, so John
this,
Romero's free now.
Yeah, John Romero's here. That thing right there is the final boss from Doom 2. Except in that game, he was just a giant head. Now he has a body, which is kind of cool. But he doesn't have John
did he,
Romero's head
like-
inside of him.
Did he like telekinetically freeze everyone in place there?
More like he's like the super massive, all powerful
So-
hellspawn, so he could take over things.
They
Wait, so
they only
didn't these
explain
guys
this in
want
the
to
lore
wake him up?
tablets.
Well, they wanted to
Um,
wake him up under their control, and us killing
Yeah.
the heart meant they don't have control
All
over
right.
him anymore.
So here's the quick lore dump. I'll
Evan
try to make it as
Pinatas.
quick as possible. Oh, fuck yeah, I love the pinatas.
Heaven pinatas.
So, alright, I'll try to make this
Boop.
as quick as possible. The betrayer who we saw in episode 2, he sold his son out, or he sold his faction out to Hell, because Hell was like, hey, we'll resurrect your dead son if you tell us where the super magical heaven energy is. And then they did bring his son back.
I remember they talked about that in Doom. I remember they talked about that in Doom 2016, and I thought that the implication was
they
that
brought it up
was
a little
Doom
bit.
Guy.
Nope. A lot of people thought it was
just some
Doom
other
Guy.
guy.
I thought it was Doom Guy, but this game reveals that it was indeed not Doom Guy.
Okay.
So they brought his son back, but his soul
As
was
the icon of
trapped.
sin.
Yeah, his soul was trapped in the Icon of Sin. But then this game reveals that whole plan of his son being resurrected but his soul being put in the Icon of Sin was actually orchestrated by Heaven so that Heaven could get control of the Icon of Sin. Which is really fucky. Like, it's turning into some fucking Metal Gear shit.
Why did they need to trick someone? Couldn't they just put whoever they want in there?
Because Hell technically controls all the souls.
Okay.
And Heaven
And the only way
can't-
they could get Argent...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say, the reason is Hell controls all the souls, and in order to keep their pact with making Argent energy from souls, they can't step foot into Hell to do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, prior to this moment, because Doom Guy fucked it all up, demons can't go to heaven and angels can't go to hell. So, they had to use the Night Sentinels to act as a proxy, or messenger, or whatever. But in the end, their whole plan was, ever since the angels turned evil, they wanted to take control of the Icon of Sin so that they could harvest an endless amount of souls to create Argent energy and live forever.
And basically not have to rely on Hell to do so.
Yep.
So basically,
but,
this was all them doing sneaky shenanigans to try and take over the demon world.
Yeah.
Well, universal control, but yes.
But what happened in that cutscene right
so
there?
So why are
is
demons
that,
here now?
Because I'm trying to think of the best way to start this. The soul of the betrayer's son was stored in that big heart that you saw Doom Guy stab, and with the heart destroyed, the soul is gone. So the Icon of Sin is free of the betrayer's son's soul, which is what the angels were using to control him. So now the Icon is basically free to do whatever the fuck it wants, and with its even existence
Since
inside
it's already
hell,
in heaven,
or heaven, yeah.
Okay.
Since it's in heaven,
so since it's already in heaven
the
to begin
demons can
with,
just boom in.
the pact is broken. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So what were you saying
Yeah,
before
demons
I
can just
interrupted
boom
your
in whatever they
question?
want. Me? I don't know. I already forgot.
Okay.
Oh,
Glad
hey,
we still
Quake 2
got
song.
some time to hunt down some collector vinyls.
But yeah, TLDR,
Quake 2 song.
Doom Guy stabbing the heart has broken everything. Now demons can go to heaven without any kind of gate holding them back.
Chum Chum. Yeah, now Chum Chum from Fanboy and Chum Chum is pretty pissed off at us.
Chum chum.
Wait, is that the voice actor for the angel dude?
Yep.
Yep.
The con maker's voiced by Chum Chum.
I mean,
Cool.
as far as breaking the pact between the demons and angels goes, I bet Doom Guy and I here are on the same wavelength, and I'm just like, yeah, sure. Let them rip and tear. Let them kill each other. I don't care. Makes my job a little easier.
I was gonna say he ultimately doesn't like either of them.
Yeah, so if you get your enemies to fight each other, then you save
Well,
yourself a good amount of bullets.
In another game, this would be one of those cynical cases where the hero caused a big mess that they then have to clean up, but it's like, nah, it was already a mess. This is just a more convenient mess.
I mean, in a way, he is cleaning it
feel
up,
like-
but just not the same.
It's like when you're sweeping and when you're mopping, and you put the mop and the broom together, so you can do both at the same time.
Isn't that just a Swiffer jet?
Damn it! I was gonna sell that thing. Wait, block pushing puzzles. Did we?
Well,
get into...
it's not really a puzzle. You just push it once.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, did we get into a Pokemon Ice Cave or God of War for a moment?
God.
No.
Of War.
Boy.
Shut up!
Get
Wow,
everyone,
my
lined
first,
up in a convenient shot.
My first shut up Ted moment. This really is BrainScratch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, I didn't get them lined up, so just wait it out.
Wait, so is there a challenge to kill all of them with one shot?
No, it was just, it's most convenient with the BFG based on how they move.
Oh, okay.
Gotta make it easy.
Yeah, more or less. I'm not going to use the BFG for much else. Because the Heaven Pinatas like to kind of float around and stuff, so it makes it hard to deal with them with the Cyber Mancubus.
They can be a nuisance.
Oh, does that glitch?
They're great, but
Does the glitch from the first game still work, where if you put the slowdown?
To an extent, not as much as before.
That lucky little grunt demon just managed to dodge the BFG by sheer dumb luck, only to get blasted away by the super shotgun a second later.
hey, that's a new record for the demon.
Hey, that was a perfectly nice statue you just punched.
It was a person I hate, so I don't care.
Yeah, but somebody spent a lot of time working on that statue.
Don't think too deep into that, please. Or do. It's kind of funny. Whoa.
It's weird how you can punch and then grab yourself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The rip and tear. The platforming in first person, while functional, from this perspective looks kind of jank.
Yeah, it is a little jank.
One of the things
It was easily my least favorite part of what I played of Doom 2016. I found myself missing jumps all the time and having to go back and redo a lot of stuff. And if I remember correctly, the load times on the Switch version were pretty abysmal, which also was not
terrible.
super fun. Yeah, so I would do without it, personally, but platforming in any first-person game is always kind of a crapshoot.
Well, the jumps that they ask you to make are generally more forgiving than your mobility can actually deal with. So it's not it's the only hard part about it is getting used to the weird perspective. Because they can't expect you to make any precise jumps if you can't see where your goddamn feet are.
That's why I've noticed it's more about there's a lot of the swinging on things and the grabbing on the wall, where your feet aren't really involved.
Part of the equation, yeah.
Yeah,
They don't
it's-
ask you to jump off of a ledge.
It's
to,
a bit
towards
like
the end of the ledge.
it's a bit like when you play an Uncharted or a modern Tomb Raider game. You don't really have to worry about positioning or determining jump length before you jump. You just have enough navigational actions to interact with that it provides a complex but ultimately pretty easy navigational challenge to give you that feeling of adventure rather than just being in a battle arena.
So I know very little about Uncharted other than Nathan Drake has very shiny hair and he murders a lot of brown people.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I mean, that is what he does in the games.
So how realistic, quotation marks, do they expect the platforming to be in that game? Like, do you jump more forward than vertically and stuff like that?
You still
You jump in whatever direction the set piece wants you to.
it's not really a matter of controlling your midair jumps, although you do have some control over your midair jumps. It's just that you generally jump from climbing point to climbing point, or make very simple jumps over ledges.
Okay.
You know,
so it's more about timing then, would
There's
you say?
well, there is stuff like swinging on ropes and stuff to mix it up, but you're doing less platforming than you are navigating.
Okay. All right, that makes a good amount of sense.
Although
because
sometimes they do some cool stuff where they mix in the platforming navigation elements to give you some stealth options for a particular area.
yeah, I ask because I've noticed that more, just for the lack of a better word, grounded platforming. I feel like hasn't really been as big of a thing for a while, other than Uncharted or Tomb Raider. The other big example I can think of is Prince of Persia, which is getting a remake, I think, sometime.
Sands of
Aren't you
Time.
guys?
Yeah, Sands
Aren't
of
you, aren't you guys glad I waited 5 years to redo it?
Well, the thing is, when you do quote unquote grounded platforming and try to make it challenging, what you come up with is Retro Tomb Raider, which is not a very accessible kind of platforming. It's fun once you get used to it, but yeah. Even Tomb Raider before the reboot started to just absorb some of the Prince of Persia climbiness tropes into its game design, and that's really accessible but not very complicated to do. So it feels nice to climb around on ledges and drop down to a ledge or jump up to a ledge, but when you get down to it, unless you just hit the wrong direction and jump off into the abyss for some reason, there's not much that can really go wrong along the way. Yeah. Well, what I see in general in modern game design is less games that are focused on that modern grounded platforming style and more games that are focused in other genres that contain elements of the modern grounded platforming style.
I see.
Like Horizon Zero Dawn, the platforming is by no means the focus, but you still have elements of it in there.
Okay.
And Assassin's Creed, even. Yeah, you're going to be climbing around on the buildings a lot, and it's really cool, but the focus is more on the open world sandboxing. You're not really going to do...
Yeah, that basically goes to Tsushima as well.
Yeah, there aren't really many situations in Assassin's Creed where you can fail at the platforming and have it set you back in any significant way.
Yeah, you know what? I never even thought about Assassin's Creed being a platformer, but it really, like, it is. You know, the whole big thing is like, you know, you're jumping around on rooftops doing assassin crap. But I've always thought about it more in terms of it being a Ubisoft kind of open world.
It
get
became
to the
less
towers,
and less
find the things.
It became less and less of a platformer as time went on.
Well, that
But
I mean,
this one
there's
has pirates.
It's also...
apparently the new one is good though, the Greeky one.
I still need to play my copy of Odyssey. I have it. I have all the DLC. I just haven't gotten around to playing it because I haven't been in the mood for a big old Witcher-style RPG yet. But that's
What do you mean you don't have 400 hours to spend on a game right now?
Well, I have certainly had 400 hours to spend on a game, but I decided to spend it on the Trails series instead. So
There's only so many giant RPGs you can play. It's just like, Ted, you like RPGs. Why haven't you played Final Fantasy 12? And it's just like, look, if I spent my life playing every RPG out there, I would not only not be able to play literally any other game, I wouldn't be able to watch TV or movies or go on the internet
Also,
or read books
you have TV?
or have a social. You know what? For the first time in forever, I've started watching TV again because The Good Place season 4 finally got on Netflix,
Oh,
so I can watch that now.
Okay.
Oh, you
I
mean,
actually-
so like TV as in streaming services, not TV.
Oh yeah,
I thought you meant like cable.
Imagine making sure that you wait for a specific time in order to watch a program and then sitting through the commercials while watching that program. That sounds
My
like...
God, we're spoiled.
we really need to come up with a shorthand word other than TV for watching stuff on streaming services.
Remember
like
when?
Netflix?
Remember when you didn't even know when things were on, and you had to watch a specific channel slowly crawl through the schedule to get to the channel you wanted to see what was coming up.
I remember
and
when,
only an hour and a half blocks, and not the entire schedule.
Oh god,
I remember when
buying
having like a catalog button on the remote was a big deal for me.
Man, get on my
no
level.
longer buying the TV guide.
Get on my level. I
I
remember the time when we didn't have those fancy on-demand, on-screen
Yep.
channel lists that show what's coming up.
I mean, that's why I was referencing the TV Guide channel.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had to buy the book TV guide.
Oh man,
I'm
You wanna-
sorry, I'm not that old.
You know what? I remember how big of a deal it was when we got TiVo, and we didn't
Oh, yeah,
have
TiVo
to...
was a
yeah,
big
that,
deal.
you know, just saying the word TiVo makes me feel old, because that's like 2004.
Oh, yeah,
local stuff.
you decided to pay for this service that records shit for you. Okay.
It was worth it because you didn't have to buy blank VHS tapes anymore. Oh, and then my
Proto-
parents
And
would
you
get
didn't have to
really-
remember to set it yourself. You could just have it do it for you.
And then my parents got really mad at me for taking up all of the hard drive space on the TiVo with recorded episodes of Kirby right back at you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you don't need to keep all 12 episodes that they aired this Saturday of that on there. You delete some now.
Why not?
But
Well-
you get to keep all 6 episodes of Survivor from the past month, Mom. Gosh, I'm bitter.
Oh my god, my parents used to watch Survivor.
Survivor and The Amazing Race.
Yeah. They're both still on. I don't know if they're like doing.
Well, I
seasons
imagine not right now.
I
But
think I very briefly met someone who was on Survivor, but then didn't realize it until later. So
And you survived?
I'm eternally unsure whether or not I really met someone who was on that show. But my strongest memories connected to
Hi,
Survivor.
Archvile. Bye, Archvile.
Yep. My strongest memories connected to Survivor have nothing to do with the actual show, but an animated Resident Evil parody that was made by a YouTuber named Shadowleggy back in the old days, before
Oh my God.
rampant YouTube
That's what-
partnerships.
That's another name I've not heard in a long time.
It's
You see, it couldn't have been that old
It-
days though, because it would have been on Newgrounds if it was the really old days.
but like it wasn't. It was entirely a pun, because Resident Evil Survivor was the name of the
Is the name,
was
yeah.
the name of the parody, but it was also the name of a game. So the host of the show was Ark Thompson, who was played entirely deadpan because he was the most boring character in the series at that time.
Has he kept the most boring character in the series title? Because there's a lot of Resident Evil characters who have come out since like 2005.
I'd say he's done a very good job of fighting to keep that champion's belt.
Okay. The competition is fierce, I'll have you know.
It doesn't
No.
it doesn't get much duller than Ark Thompson from Resident Evil Survivor 1.
I mean, maybe Ethan Winters to some extent.
No, Ethan Winters at least has some good snark to him. Ark Thompson just has the dullest, most monotone voice actor you can imagine. So, yeah, video's over.
We'll see you on the next
Go
part.
home.